Two guests on the line right now have written a book together called Nine Rubies, Broken Silence of a Daughter of Revolutionary Iran. Up at the top, Mahru Gashgaye and Susan Snyder. And we're having a discussion about this remarkable... It's really a story that has movie written all over it. So I hope somebody takes it up and does something with it. But let me ask you, Mahru, also about... The culture and lifestyle, particularly in the 1960s. I thought that was most interesting because in that era you discovered the Beatles just as we did, and you you really lived a very Western style life, didn't you?
Yes, and also my own culture because I had inside my mother teaching me all about the past and her culture, and outside in a very wealthy family that they are going to the Europe, coming back, and I, learned from them.
Now, one of the things too that I really learned, and I didn't know enough about this, the Ayatollah Khomeini, when he was not in Iran yet, but he was in Paris, and all of the kind of public relations that he was doing and his people were doing, suggesting that he would bring democracy back. And you went to see him? You went to visit him in Paris, you and others?
Yes, my husband and I, and with two boys, we went there, and I think that time everybody just loved to see him because we were waiting for a new Gandhi to come to Iran and change everything for us. So I was very, very excited to see him, and I think I have, sort of a willing that to go and to see everything and try everything by myself. So I was very anxious to see
And, of
him.
course, history now tells us that all that he promised didn't exactly take place.
Unfortunately,
right. Susan, that was something that I learned again about this, and I think we have to really study Iran now because of what's going on. I mean, all of us should know more about this culture. But were you sort of surprised when Mahru told you that she was in the company of Ayatollah Khomeini?
I was amazed. I just so this is another. It's a very personal story. It's this woman's story, and all of a sudden she is in a personal audience with the Ayatollah Khomeini, and there's Peter Jennings there, and it's almost surreal, but it was a part of her life. They went to ask Khomeini if it would be okay for her husband to go and study at MIT, and Khomeini said that, yes, education is the most important thing and that you should go. So they got permission from him to go to the United States. And I think it's only one of the things that we don't know enough about in terms of Iran that's not a political something. It's about the people. You asked about the people today and do we know about them and their experience in Iran. And the people in Iran are regular people. They're just like us. All of the things that happen in the world have an impact on their lives. And from a political perspective, I would say that a lot of times we don't realize, even for ourselves, that every decision that people make has an impact on the human beings who live in that culture and are just trying to live their lives.
Exactly, just trying to get by and live the lives that Mahru describes then and now. And Mahru, before we continue and conclude, and by the way, the website 9rubiesthebook.com, and spell out the word 9. What lessons would you like to extend to the younger generation about what you went through? What should we learn from your experience, and how can we sort of take your story and benefit from it? What can we learn and glean from what you went through?
I I always learned and then tried to teach the others. I like to just speak for people who they don't speak for themselves and try to help them, be voice for them, and especially for young people that life is changes. It's not going to stay the way when the time is hard. And if we just, we just don't give up and continue, and then God's going to help you, and you're going to be in the right place.
There's a lot of strength in the child in this story, and I'm talking to the adult who was the child. And I don't mean in any way to connect the two of you, but there was a certain element of Anne Frank that came to mind. And Susan, I think you know what I'm saying. It's not as dire, obviously, but a certain strength that Mahru has as a youngster.
I do know what you're saying, and I think that for me, because I work with children, and I work with people who work with children, I work with teachers who are with children, especially who live in poverty and very young children, that the messages of this book are not just about Mahru, and they're not just about this culture in Iran. There are universal themes, especially about children, and what the parents' lasting impact that they have on their children.
Yes.
On raising kids to be able to handle situations and be resilient, about being empathetic. There are stories here that are powerful for all women. There are stories here that are about injustices.
Right.
And the story of Mahru and me, and this sort of being able to open up to one another, somebody who you see across a room, and every person has a story, and if we can share that. We just had to start talking to one another.
Indeed. Ladies, we have to stop talking because I have to take a hard break. I want to thank you both, Mahru and Susan, and I wish you the best, and I know that the fact that we're here talking about this is good. It's adding sunshine to the issue of Iran, but also talking, as you say, about childhood and the importance of family. Mahru Gashgahi, how did I do with your name? Pretty good?
Wonderful.
Thank you. And Susan Snyder with 9 Rubies, brand new book, 9rubiesthebook.com. Thank you both, ladies. And
Thank you for having us.
Good luck. Thank you.